Okay, welcome everyone. It is May 16th, 2023. It's our 2 o'clock Commissioner consent agenda. Welcome today. I do want the record to reflect that we have all 5 commissioners are present. Commissioner Kearns is on Zoom. All the rest of us are here in the chamber. There were no written comments that were received prior to the meeting for the agenda. For agenda items, but we do have our open public forum, and I see that we have 5 people that have chosen that want to speak for our open public forum. We do that for 15 minutes, so we will have each of you for 3 minutes. When you come up, please state your name and address for the record, and then your 3 minutes will start at that point. And then there'll be a timer there, and we will go from there. So thank you all very much. I will then open up the open public forum, and we are going to start with Stephanie Hayden. Or is there a certain order you guys want to go in? I'm happy to adjust. So Kevin Van Hook?
That's correct.
Very good. And if you state your name and address for the record.
It's Kevin Van Hook. My address is 1521 North Argonne Road, Spokane Valley, Washington.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Spokane County Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to speak out publicly about SCRAP's current leadership, mainly its current director. He has repeatedly misled his staff, volunteers, and the public at large. He is currently telling the public that he does not advocate for community members to return dogs to where they were found. But internally, he has directed his staff to do exactly that, which is unnecessary and could place the dogs in danger. Not to mention that this practice would be committing animal abandonment. He has continued to tell the public that SCRAPS is at capacity, and his solution to this is to make all visits to SCRAPS by appointment only, thus limiting members of the public opportunities to view and adopt animals. He has also decided to close the shelter on Sundays, the second highest day for adoption. It has been 6 months since he has made these decisions, and he has refused to revisit and re-examine the negative impact his decisions have had on SCRAPS, animals in their care, and the erosion of public trust. In his free time, he has fired 3 long-term volunteers and 1 staff member for publicly and privately disagreeing with him. He provided no verbal warning, no written warning, or mediation to these individuals. This would violate SCRAP's current SOP manual in deciding disciplinary action that individuals and all staff be given a verbal warning first, then a written corrective warning, and a final written warning before termination. Recently, it was made public that SCRAPS, at the director's instruction, was scheduled to kill a dog in their care simply because it had been there too long. With the community's help and over 300 emails and telephone calls, this dog was able to be transferred to Canine Rescue and Recovery. The director's reply to this new community member: "Where were you a year ago?" That response is simply shameful. I would call on this governing body to invite Director Ferrari to explain his decisions and actions. He has been given this exact opportunity by the city of Spokane twice for how his decisions and actions impact their current service contract. He has refused twice. If an invitation is extended, he will not accept because his decisions and actions cannot be defended. In short, I believe it's time to ask for the director's resignation. Thank you.
Thank you. And then I'll let you just state your name and address for the record, and I'll find your yellow sheet.
Stephanie Hayden, Spokane Valley.
Stephanie.
Thank you for taking the time to hear me today.
And Stephanie, before you get started, I need your full address, though, for the record.
13319 East 11th Avenue.
Thank you. Okay, we'll go ahead and get, can you restart the clock? I want to make sure I give you your full 3 minutes, so. There you go. Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to hear me today. My name is Stephanie Hayden, and I speak on behalf of myself and many, many current employees and volunteers that are fearful of retaliation for speaking the truth. I'm currently enrolled in the Canine Assessment of Risk for Shelters with high marks and in the process of credentialing as a shelter behavior affiliate with the International Association of Animal Behavior Consultants. Before leading into this discussion, I'd like to make it clear that I am pro-euthanasia in cases of medical suffering and when an animal poses a high risk to the community. And while I believe mental health is a medical crisis, I believe all resources, such as transfers to community partners, fostering, and increased enrichment and mental stimulation should be utilized before euthanasia. I was the last remaining employee of the Life Savings Program at Spokane County Regional Animal Protection Services, leaving the facility unfit to perform behavior assessments in a proper, safe, and competent manner. Removal of the Life Savings Program is directly correlated to Scraps moving away from their contractual obligations with the City of Spokane to restrict euthanasia to only those cases in which an animal in the care of the facility is found to be in the process of dying or suffering. For instance, Domino, shelter ID number 42035. Domino required a moderate level of management given his behavioral responses to leashing and high level of fear. The interventions that were implemented included medication, leash training, and adding a covered crate to his kennel to aid in rest and relaxation from surrounding stimulus. During the week of interventions and evaluations, Domino was not consistently taking his medication, and maintenance on his kennel was initiated during scheduled training, resulting in missed sessions. I recommended another week of evaluations to ensure consistent administration of medication and additional uninterrupted trainings based on the recorded progress and strides he was making. My assessment and recommendations are backed by Karen Pryor Academy certified training partners and knowledge assessed certified professional dog trainers. My stance to not support euthanasia in this case at that time resulted in my termination. Jesse Ferrari, Nick Hobbs-Doyle, and Beth O'Keefe, who now refer to themselves as the Soul Dog Team, refused my recommendations. Domino was euthanized on Sunday, April 30th at 11 a.m. Domino's length of stay in the shelter was a direct impact of severe staffing shortages and the county refusing more hours to part-time employees to care for animals under its care. I'd like to make a call to action for Scraps to reinstate their life savings program, transfer all behavior dogs that they are now incapable of handling, and create an advisory board to hold them accountable for their actions and decisions. I would also like Scraps to hire enough staff to support the current population's needs, as it is neglectful to let a dog sit in a kennel unwalked for weeks on end solely because staff is spread too thin. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi there. My name's Brianna Franzen, and my address is 1521 North Argonne Road. You've all received an email from me the other day, and I do have a few other things to point out other than that email. So the senior director of Scraps is a backyard breeder of Great Danes, which is a major conflict of interest when you're running a municipal shelter. She's literally overseeing these dogs' lives, yet bringing more dogs' lives into this world. She's also been removing posts and comments on the Scraps Facebook page, as she's the admin, which is illegal. That's a public record, and we've told her that multiple times. Secondly, Jesse Ferrari meets 0 requirements for the director position, as posted on your guys' website. He's not living in Washington State. He does not have a Washington driver's license. He has not had an integrity interview with the sheriff or a commission. He also does not have the requirements for shelter care or education. He has lied to the public regarding staffing issues, not accepting animals, telling the public to commit the crime of animal abandonment, claims of board certification for the veterinarian on staff, dog behavior claims that are completely unfounded and that he's not certified to make, and euthanasias. How is this unethical and unqualified man running a Spokane County entity? It's absurd. Nick Hobbs-Doyle also does not meet any requirements for the position, and he's a shelter operations manager. A degree in video games is not sufficient to deem euthanasia in killing animals or behavior issues. We invite this governing body to demand that Kat Nichols be removed from Scraps and that Jesse Ferrari, as well as Nick Hobbs-Doyle, be terminated for ethical reasons, retaliation, as well as not meeting the minimum requirements for the position. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. So I have Dee and Miranda still left.
Hi, I'm Dee Linton, 1521 Argonne, Spokane Valley. I am speaking on behalf of Canine Tracking and Recovery Director. At midnight on April 29th, we were contacted regarding a dog named Nancy that was scheduled for euthanasia at Scraps that Sunday the 30th. Our volunteers waited there at the opening that day, the 29th. I was one of them. And after hours of waiting, we were finally told we could speak to the director Monday, and they would hold off euthanizing until that meeting. We were told by the director this dog was danger and had no desire to live. We were allowed by staff to see her and recorded video evidence showing that was not the case. We spent a few hours discussing, and finally, after watching our trainer handle Nancy, we got an agreement to release her. We were told this would take a day or two, and told by email 2 to 3 days. Upon our trainer following up, we were told hopefully by the end of the week. We successfully, after a week-long wait and discriminatory process requiring a contract that has not been asked of any other nonprofit, we were able to take Nancy into our custody. We have found Nancy to be an entirely different animal than what Scraps management has said veterinary staff and directors were attempting to portray her as. Those who worked with the dog and vouched for her behavior were terminated by Director Jess. Canine Tracking would like to save 10 to 15 behavioral dogs currently at the risk under the hands of Scraps management. We also have speaking today the behavioral expert that's currently training Nancy.
Thank you. And I have Miranda.
Yes. I'm Miranda Vogue. My address is 20519 East Happy Trails Loop. Today I'd like to read to you an email that should also be in all your inboxes from yesterday. This email was drafted and addressed to both Kat Nichols, Director Jesse, and Nick Hobbs. This is our request from Canine Tracking to pull these behavioral dogs. To all following Nancy's case in progress, Nancy was transferred into Canine Tracking and Recovery's possession on May 5th and enrolled in training with Colorful Canines the following day after her second party evaluation. Nancy's first week has consisted of primarily evaluating the extent of any behavioral concerns and introducing a calmness protocol to manage the anxiety that was reported by Scraps. Our initial evaluation of Nancy displayed a dog that had little to no social interaction with other animals prior to her stay at Scraps. She was not intentionally trying to bite or cause any harm in her approaches with other dogs, but did display a need to assert herself, such as placing her paws on those dogs' back. This is not uncommon for her breed with an untrained prey drive, as well as a dog in a situation from Scraps. Our second party evaluation by Elise Honnold confirmed this. We took Nancy out to Spokane Humane Society to reintroduce her to Sid, the dog that was found roaming with her, and allowed their trainer to take the reins. Both parties deemed Sid and Nancy unbonded but familiar and non-reactive towards each other. While there, Nancy had time roaming in their loose play yards with small dogs in the next. Nancy clearly displayed a desire to play with these dogs, but after a few moments of frustration that she was unable to. This led us to believe that Nancy was experiencing frustration with the barrier, and that was the cause of her reactivity. The following day, we decided to bring out a stable and well-mannered dog, Bubba, on a dragging lead and bring Nancy out without any barriers to trigger this frustration. This, as seen in the clip that is attached to your emails, went very well. She sniffed and post one command went to do her own thing. This is not a dog that is reactive or aggressive and not a dog that should have been eligible for euthanasia. This dog should have been connected with a trainer or breed-specific rescue upon first signs of decline. I am requesting that Scraps surrender all euthanasia cases to Canine Tracking and Recovery and our interested parties. We are willing to provide these dogs free training services through multiple trainers in the area. Until Scraps is able to resolve the issue of having a behavioral staff, we request any incoming behavioral dogs be sent towards Canine Tracking and Recovery. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so that's everyone that I have that was speaking. Okay. Thank you very much. That does conclude our 15 minutes. I appreciate the information, and I know all the commissioners have been receiving the emails, so thank you. So with that, then I will close the open public forum, and we will continue our meeting with a proclamation. Commissioner French.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will read this proclamation into the record as a motion. I move that Spokane County Public Works Proclamation, National Public Works Week, May 21 through May 27th, 2023, Connecting the World Through Public Works. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are vitally important to sustainable and resilient communities and to the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of Spokane County, Washington. And whereas the Spokane County Public Works Department constructs, operates, and maintains more than 5,100 lane miles of paved and unpaved roads, the largest county road system in the state of Washington, 155 bridges, 7 maintenance facilities, 4 road districts, and thousands of stormwater facilities for the benefit of our residents and the traveling public. And whereas the Spokane County Public Works Department is also responsible for the operation of an award-winning, state-of-the-art water reclamation facility that includes 665 miles of gravity wastewater collection pipes, 37 miles of force mains, 34 pump stations, and more than 14,000 manholes, and also includes a water resource center that provides educational outreach to hundreds of students annually. And whereas Spokane County Public Works Department also operates the regional solid waste system that provides solid waste disposal, as well as related waste reduction and educational services to 11 participating jurisdictions and the unincorporated areas of Spokane County. And whereas the year 2023 marks the 63rd annual National Public Works Week sponsored by the American Public Works Association, be it now resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Spokane County, Washington, do hereby designate the week of May 21st through 27th, 2023 as National Public Works Week. And we encourage all citizens to join with representatives of the American Public Works Association and government agencies to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make to protecting our health, safety, and quality of life, in witness whereof we have adhered to set our signatures the 16th day of May 2023.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. I know Kyle will have you and your team come down and give a few words, but I'll call for the vote first as you come down. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you, County Commissioners. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, County Commissioners. Truly, I personally believe every week is National Public Works Week. I think we need to be celebrated every day of the year because the work doesn't ever stop. We are out there every day of the year. And hopefully, and most of the time, we are in the background. We are typically unseen. We don't need you to see that the work that goes into making sure that when that toilet flushes, that water goes where it needs to go, that those roads are properly maintained, that when you drop off your trash at a solid waste transfer station, that it is properly disposed of and the recycling is properly accounted for. This team of professionals is truly committed to service. These are folks that just want to make sure that their community has the proper bones so that they can live, thrive, and survive and really have a wonderful community that they can go for. And they need infrastructure. We have to be able to get around, and we need to have safe water quality. And we need to, frankly, it's not just our work. The community invests in what we do. The community invests in the roads, and the community is the reason we have a state-of-the-art treatment plant with the highest available technology, protecting our river and making sure that we're doing the best we can for all of us. So thank you. I really appreciate the recognition this week. These teams are, kind of the unsung heroes, and make sure we all get to enjoy this wonderful area.
Thank you. So we'll have your team come down so we can take a picture with you. And I just want to say thank you very much because you guys do an excellent job and appreciate the recognition for that week. Okay, I didn't ask, are there any items that we'd like to take separately before we continue on with the agenda? Okay. Seeing none, I will look to my fellow commissioners.
Madam Chair, I would move that we approve items 3, 4, 5, and all the sub-items appearing thereunder. Do you want to take the by leave item separately?
Yes.
Okay,
have to open
then
that up.
that's my motion. I'm sticking to it.
Second.
Okay, thank you. I have a motion and a second for items 3, 4, 5, and all sub-items as presented on today's agenda. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes unanimously. I heard all 5. That will then take us to item number 6, which is a by-leave item on today's agenda. And Arian, I think you're going to give a presentation.
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. Arian Schmidt, Acting Executive Director for the Broadlink Public Development Authority. I do have some handouts for you, as well as a guest that will be sharing on behalf of the partnership that we're going to be presenting with you today. So both of those. And then there has been a resolution prepared because there is a request for action. So as you may be aware, the Spokane County Commissioners did form the Broadlink Public Development Authority in December of 2022, and there has been a lot of fast and furious work in the area of broadband for infrastructure as well as digital equity. We were made known about a week ago that there would be an opportunity for Spokane County to receive a interlocal agreement connected to a state legislative proviso to do a pilot. That is what the packet before you is about. This pilot is actually going to be the only one in the state that is demoing not only for the state broadband office, the governor's office, as well as some of our federal representatives, a concept for a hybrid technology that currently hasn't been adopted within the broadband space. And what this technology is it's using what's called a semi-fixed mobile deployment. And the reason it has been fascinating for people to see is many unserved communities, primarily in the rural areas, but this could apply to urban areas as well as some special emergency situations. It takes some time to do the construction in order to have in-ground broadband or aerial pole work done, leaving those individuals unserved. What this pilot will do is, with the grant money that has been awarded, stand up in our South Spokane County area, and there is a picture in the packet. It is to the east of Highway 195 in the Spangle-Turnbull area served by Fire District 3 and the Households, Liberty School District, and a number of other anchor institutions, coverage that currently doesn't exist. This will be procured, manufactured, and put into place before the end of the current state budget year, which is June 30th, 2023. That is why it's a pilot. The reason it's before you today is Broadlink is still undergoing all of its formation setup to include a couple of state identifiers that haven't gotten through the system. And so Commerce agreed that they would allow Spokane County to receive this award, Broadlink be the subrecipient, and then individuals from Peak Industries and New J Technologies, which is located on Highway 2 in Airway Heights, will be our sole source firm in order to do the work. They are here today to share with you how they are going to be able to accomplish this. What will occur is the actual gear and site placement for this pilot will be stood up, and then Commerce has agreed for us to spend time creating a baseline through September, and then the pilot data that will allow for the businesses, schools, anchor institutions, and the fire district to begin to then collect the outcome for the final report that will end June 30th of the following year. This report will be presented to the Broadlink Board, to use the county commissioners, the broadband office, the governor, any other representatives at the federal level that are interested, because they are currently making policy decisions for federal funding for which this may now be included in scope of work for future awards. So that is an overview. I do want to entertain any questions and then also give you some opportunity to talk with the firm that we will be working with, as this is a very fast pace, not only award, but in the deliverables and then what will be occurring.
Are there any questions for Arian? Commissioner French. Oh, sorry.
I don't have a question for you, but I do want to speak a little bit about Peak Industries and New J LLC. They are, in fact, a company located on the West Plains on Highway 2, just near Airway Heights. But they're a local company that produces a product that's distributed throughout the world. And to have that company based right here in town and be able to use their technology, they construct these facilities all on site. Every part of it's constructed here on site and stuff. So it's one of those local success stories that I'm very excited to support and see them provide their service here in Spokane County. So thank you.
Commissioner Waldron.
Well, this is very exciting. And thank you for all your work to identify funds for more broadband access and equity here in Spokane County. So the contract requires that expenditure of the funds be completed by June 30th, but then it says the pilot begins July 1st. So
I can explain that.
that means, when you say that, you mean the collection of data then
Yes.
occurs,
so-
but there won't be any expenses after that point?
So the stuff has to be procured, received, and placed by June 30th in order to meet the requirements for the commerce disbursement. And then basically they realize you can't run a pilot in 40 days. So they're allowing the collection of baseline data, because that's really important for some of this, over those first couple of months. And then as subscribers are brought on board, that will then occur throughout the rest of the year, with New J being the operator for the pilot. And at the end of that, the capital that was used to procure all of the equipment will become property of Broadlink. And then we will then have the opportunity to, A, continue that service for that constituents, and B, part of this award is that we would be a demonstration site or mentor community for others, counties, tribes, or areas in Washington state, potentially other states or the federal government, to see how this pilot went.
So I just want to say I'm very excited, as been part of broadband since the get-go on this, and talking to commissioners across the state. We just had a meeting with commissioners on just broadband over a week ago. And knowing, everyone talks about different options and opportunities for broadband, that is it a satellite? Is it fiber to the home? What is that? This is going to provide the opportunity for us to see a different technology that it is used all across the world. That a lot of the places in Washington state, you're never going to get fiber to. And so this is going to give us that opportunity to see. And so I think I'm really excited. The state had funds that needed to be used up by the end of June. And so I'm very excited that they chose to put those here in Spokane County and to let us be a pilot for that. So thank you for all your hard work, Arian.
Absolutely.
And then I don't know if you would like to have.
Mr. Ely represents New J, and they are here to just bring context and assurances of this award, because it will be really a partnership with them on how this will roll out in such the tight timeline. Ben?
Thank you, Arian, and good afternoon, commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to come and share with you, but also most importantly, it's just the support and being open on how we can improve services to the constituents that are in the county. As Arian has shared, this is it's exciting to be a part of this and share what we've learned in other more difficult parts when we talk about connectivity, and more importantly, what you can do with the connectivity when we talk education, remote healthcare, improving public safety. all of these things that are very important when we talk about the services are what will be highlighted in this trial. Just for clarity and transparency, commissioners, that this is an extremely tight time frame, doable, but very tight. So as we've worked with Arian with all the components of this and also with the expectations of the state, that getting today's decision is very important so we can get everything ordered, because getting all of the materials on site by June 30th, again, it's tight, but it's very, relies on the speed of getting orders in today. And then the other is that just for the system going into the fire stations, this is where we'll need to work collaboratively together, because the NEPA and the CEPA requirements will run in concurrence, based on your approval of this moving forward today, and that it'll be very tight to get those items through that process, and then over the next 60 to 90 days. So we'll be running a lot of things in concurrence. Just for clarity, we'll be able to get the sites out to the fire station, once we get all of the materials gathered together, which is, our target is on or before June 30th, and then getting things set up there at the fire stations. But just for full transparency and clarity, that we may not be through the entire NEPA process, but there will be things that the county and when we talk about the site development process could help streamline that. So just wanted to also give the opportunity. We have the other owners of New JMP that are on the video call here, Zoom. I don't think they're allowed in as a panelist, but also want to give Jerry and Sean an opportunity to share as well. Because again, we know that we appreciate those who have been able to come out and see. And, this is an education process on, you can have connectivity today, and if fiber to the home makes sense, that's great. We fully support that. But to put a wireless network in place that allows you to get connectivity in those services today, that gives you time to build fiber to the home. But as the other commissioner had stated, sometimes it's just not economically feasible to be able to do that. So it's important that as we show a practical application to the Washington State Broadband Committee, you can have both, and you need both to make this a reality. But as that, with the information that they're going to gather from this trial, that will help with future policy changes and considerations that allow that to be widespread, because currently most of the grants are written towards fiber to the home with good intent. But again, the realities are, when you get into some of the remote areas, it's just not cost effective, and it really impacts the business case. So again, just really excited to be able to share and be a part of this. We're a local company here in Spokane, have been here for a better part of nearly 2 decades. But most people that drive on Sunset Highway have no idea what we do and the capabilities and what we've already done. So again, wanted to say thank you for the opportunity, Board of County Commissioners. And I see that my partners are there in the conference room there. So just to be able to give them an opportunity to speak and introduce them. So I'll turn that over to Jerry, Sean, and Sue. Thank you very much.
I'm Jerry Newman, CEO and owner of Peak Industries in New Jay. We look forward to doing this job with you guys. It's pretty exciting. We do this stuff basically all over the world. Our towers are everywhere. Been at it for a long time, and this is a new exciting deal getting into this broadband stuff. I'd like to introduce Sue Newman and Sean Getch. They're part of the team too, UJ and Peak. Thank you.
Thank you all very much for being here today and presenting. So are there any further questions that the commissioners have? Commissioner Jordan.
I just wanted to echo that I think this is very exciting, and I think the fact that the state recognized through the budget process, that Spokane would be a good candidate for a project like this. Speaks to the work that Arian's been doing to put us in a strong position on broadband. So I wanted to thank you for that. And just kind of ask a question. It is a pilot, so what does success look like?
That's a great question. And a lot of that, I will turn it over to the Peak team, but for us, we have really culled those that live in that community. Fire Chief Cody Rohrbach, who oversees Fire District 3, the superintendent of Liberty School District. We've talked with those that provide healthcare and behavioral health and mental health care in that area. And to them, that means the ability for the schools, public safety, households, and businesses to connect where today they cannot. And that's really what we want to show solidly, just because of the geography over that baseline gathering. And then as those different subscribers and seasons unfold, I heard a phrase that I thought was really quintessential, is that there wouldn't be a snow day in Liberty Lake, it would be a virtual day. And to me, that is the epitome of success of what that would mean to that area right now, that right now it's you know, ollie ollie out in a free day when there's snow. So, you know, those are the types of things that as we seek stakeholder engagement means success, and that will be a part of that report, not only in context, but in analytics. New J team?
Great, thank you, Arian. That is a great example, because we heard through another program that we're doing for the Pullman School District, similar, a little bit different scale, the delivery of education to the very remote areas in Albion and Tico, where, you know, the unfortunate item pre this network that is starting construction here soon, but kids would have to go to the local library and get on the Wi-Fi in inclement weather and sitting in their parents' cars to do schoolwork. And that came from the librarian and another person there. So the ability to be able to work and do schoolwork from home is one of the major milestones. The other is the economic impact of a snow day, because it was explained to us that when the teachers have to go and negotiate for each one of those snow days, that, you know, there's an impact financially. So if you can convert a snow day to a remote day, that really helps on the finances when you look at budgeting and planning, and then, you know, people having that work-life balance. The other, as well, is really to give an opportunity for people, and, you know, as local government, what is it you want to be able to do and can't? And then looking at how this network can be a multi-use asset. So the other is with our healthcare partner. They have an application that you can deliver remote telemedicine in acute care and also mental health services. So again, another application that you have the before and after data on what a network could be used for. For another client, we also did, in addition to internet connectivity, it's more than that. You really have to figure out what are the things that drive and make value in that community. So we did an e-commerce site where we stood up a website that allowed them to be able to advertise ecotourism and be able to then take payments. Now, in this place, you know, there was no connectivity, so they had to do everything manually, driving 18 miles out of the village into the next biggest town, getting on a basically lease computer for internet time, and going to the bank, making physical deposits. So you can see how cumbersome that was. So the ability to, from an economic development perspective, that allows people to do and create an economy on what they do today, but using technology that enables that. And then another example would be with one of the native tribes on cultural preservation and language preservation is very important to them. So again, just a few examples of, you know, the before and after on the benefits to the community. For Spokane County, obviously the education, the healthcare, and then improving public safety. For Fire District 3, the ability for now to tie delivery from the 911 dispatch center at SREC to a mobile data terminal that's connected to this network is the other thing you'll see. So again, when we talk about services and safety and what that means, I think you'll have a really clear, but good perspective that's tangible to any citizen that lives there. And it really shows the state broadband, here's the power of what that network brings. And again, that can be done wirelessly, that can be done fiber to the home. But with wireless, you have the ability to expand into other verticals that there's more that could be added with time that could help with county efficiency and dollars. But these are the areas that we started out with to gauge what success looks like. So I hope that answered the question, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Since this is a by-leave item, I do have to open it up for, I do have to open it up for public comment. So, so I will go ahead and open it up for any public comment on by-leave item 6. Second call for anyone wishing to testify on by-leave item number 6. Seeing no one online and no one in the audience, third and final call for anyone wishing to testify on by-leave item number 6, as just presented by staff. Seeing no one, I'm going to close the open public testimony, and I will look to my fellow commissioners.
Madam Chair, I would move that we approve item 6, by-leave item number 6 as presented. Would you like me to read it into the record?
I will let you do that.
Thank you. Accept a grant from the Washington State Department of Commerce for a pass-through to the Spokane County Regional Broadband Authority, BroadLink, from the Washington State Broadband Office for pilot for semi-fixed wireless fiber capacity expansion project in the amount of $4,686,000, and authorize the Chief Executive Officer to sign that other than an open public meeting.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Commissioner Kearns, do we have the ability to use your stamp today?
Yes, you do. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So with that, that is the last item on our agenda. Is there anything else, Mr. Simmons or Mr. Anderson?
Commissioner, we do have 2 exec session items. I will get them in a minute here.
Okay.
One is to discuss labor negotiations, and that is RCW 4230-144. And that one will be, how many minutes? That will be for 15 minutes. It'll include the board, myself, our Chief Civil, Chris Anderson, and Ashley Cameron and Josh Grote. And then we have a second one, and that was to consider the acquisition lease of real estate under RCW 4230-110-1B. And that will include the board, our Chief Civil Deputy, Chris Anderson, and myself, and Kyle Tuig. And that one will be for 15 minutes. Yeah. And no action on either of those items.
Okay, thank you. So we do have some paperwork to sign, so we will go ahead and sign that. So we will start our executive session in, we will say 5 minutes. So we will do that. So we will start the executive session at 2:55, and we will be in executive session for 30 minutes. And we'll adjourn at that point for the day. Oh.
Commissioner, can I add on the first executive session item, having Randy Bischoff in as well?
Okay, very good. Thank you all very much. There is no decisions that are anticipated, so after that 30 minutes, we will adjourn for the day, and we will